Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to 5 on Friday, where I talk about my 5 favourite books of the week. I have a selection this afternoon that is, I guess, more early childhood focused. Some of you will know I was originally an early childhood teacher, and my first degree was in early childhood, good old QUT, Kelvin Grove. So I guess I have a bit of an affinity with books for a younger audience. But these ones are ones which I think you're super duper going to enjoy. I hope your week's been really good and that you've done a bit of reading. I've been feeling kind of a bit unwell this week. I've had a terrible headache all week and nausea and all sorts of things. So anyway, I went to my GP yesterday and she checked a few different things and she looked at my eyes and she did a few random things and she's like, you've got glasses, don't you? And I was like, oh, I've got glasses, but only for reading and only the lowest prescription ever. And I don't use them ever because I don't need them. They don't make any difference. And she's like, oh, I think the headache might be from eye strain. So apparently I need to go to the optometrist. She said, when was the last time you went to the optometrist? I went, about 18 months ago. She's like, oh, you're kind of at that age where your eyesight starts to degenerate. So yeah, I was just feeling a bit depressed about that. But anyway, I should get onto the glasses revolution, I suppose. Anyway, one more thing I have to tell you before I start. I found out this week that, get this, I mean, who does this happen to? There is a chocolate factory, I think it's the only chocolate factory in Brisbane, I think I read somewhere. That's just opened up and it's literally down the road from me. I can actually walk there. It's called 17 Rocks and I went there this morning and it was really exciting and they had samples and it was great. I really enjoyed it. So 17 Rocks chocolate. It's stone ground single origin chocolate using 100% natural nutrient rich ingredients. And the very helpful lady there told me that their chocolate is actually really good for you. So I can walk there. I didn't walk there. Technically, I could walk there. Am I going to walk there? Probably not. Anyway, on to my 5 favourite books of the week, which is why you're here. Okay, not the chocolate. Puffling by Julie Vivas and Margaret Wilde. I have loved this book for a really, really long time. I was gifted this particular version of the book, this particular copy that I'm hugging, by my very, very, very dear friend Trish Buckley. So Trish Buckley is a teacher librarian in Brisbane. She is one of the best secondary school teacher librarians I know. She is an amazing book reviewer. She's the Children's Book Council of Australia webmaster. The woman is astonishing and I love her very, very dearly. I actually gave her first teacher librarian job. We interviewed her when I worked at Westmoreland Anglican College and Kristen Lewis and I hired her to help us both out. And I've known her and laughed at her and laughed with her ever since. I adore her. Anyway, when Ava was born back in 2008, she gave me this book for Ava. So this was the second book Ava got. The first one was from my mum, but Trish came into the hospital the day afterwards Ava was born and she gave me this book. Please let me read you the inscription. Little Ava, one day you'll be big enough, tall enough, strong enough and brave enough to leave your nest and take on the world. But until then, your lovely mum and your proud dad will be there for you and will cherish you. Lucky mum and dad will be watching. Welcome to the world. Love, the Buckleys. March 2008. Now, given that Dan has now passed away, didn't cry. That inscription just means so much to me. It made me cry when I read it. I had just had a baby, so I was going to cry anyway, I suppose. This book has meant so much to me since I had my first child. I just adore it. I think there's just everything is fantastic about this book. It's back in print, which is why I thought I'd talk about it this afternoon. It's got stunning illustrations. I mean, it's Julie Vivas, for goodness sake. Of course, they're stunning. I'll read you the first pages. In summer, when the light is soft and the night never truly falls, The Egg Hatched. Hello, Puffling, said Big Stripy Beak and Long Black Feather. And so it goes on, and it's about this puffling growing up and leaving the nest and being big enough, and this is my favourite illustration. I'd really like to own that one. Isn't it beautiful? Look at the movement. Ooh, got to go the other way on this video. Look at the movement in that puffling. It's just, wah! There's just so much joy in this book. It is the absolute, to me, perfect newborn gift. Guaranteed to make mothers of newborns cry, which is pretty easy to make them do anyway. It's just stunning. I love it. It's about growing up. It's about, you know, loving your family, but knowing that one day you'll have to leave them. It's just absolutely stunning. It's just, to me, it's Margaret Wilde at her very, very best, and I adore it. And because it's back in print, I thought I would talk to you about it. It's been in and out of print ever since it first came out, but whenever I see some of them available, I always purchase them. I recently purchased 6 copies of them, just in case any of my friends have babies, so I can gift it to them. Make them cry like Trish made me cry. Thanks, Trish. Okay, next one is also in the baby category. It's Birthday Baby, and it's by Jane Godwin, who I adore, and Davina Bell, with pictures by Freya Blackwood. Again, look, what's not to love about all of those book creators? I mean, Jane Godwin, I have just adored her writing since forever, and I love following her on social media. Davina Bell, utterly adore. She is the author of All the Ways to Be Smart and so many other really great books. She wrote one of the Our Australian Girls series. Now I'm going to forget. It wasn't Me, Grace. It's the ballerina one. Pink, beautiful. Can't think. She wrote those. She's just an astonishing author as well. And Freya Blackwood. I mean, hello. This has fabulous end papers. It's about a birthday for a baby, as the title might suggest, and the end papers are sprinkles from the cake. When I talk in childcare centres and kindergartens, I often talk about must-have books, and this is one of them. Hello, look at that dog's face looking at the cake. When my brother turned 18 or 21, I made him a surfing cake. It had a shark. It was a work of art. It was astonishing. And my dog looked like that at the cake, and then we all went to the party. I came back to get the cake later, and the cake was gone, and said dog had jumped on the table and eaten Jeremy's birthday cake, which was kind of devastating. But anyway, when I talk in childcare centres and kindergartens, I talk about this book as a must-have one, and this one becoming a tradition. This is the sort of book that you should pull out on every child's birthday and read it. And you know how we light a cake, we sing happy birthday every time a child in our centre has a birthday. Well, I think we should also read this book. It's just beautiful. It's got a very, very simple text, well, seemingly simple, but it's just exquisite. Today is baby's birthday. There's going to be a party. Happy baby. Here comes baby's friends. Hello. Shy baby, friendly baby, sunny baby, hat on baby. Strong baby, smiley baby, lazy baby, wake up baby. So I just want to read you the whole book, but like that would be breaking copyright and I shouldn't do that anyway. I don't want to do that anyway. But seriously, look at that dog stealing the ice cream, and then we've got a crying baby. Oh, it's just beautiful. I just think there's so much to explore in it. The visual literacy elements in it are fabulous. I just feel like this is the sort of book that every single early childhood centre needs in their collection. I adore it. Well done, guys. All right, the next one is When I Grow Up, and this one is written and illustrated by Casey Rainbow. Now, Casey Rainbow is a designer, and I have followed her on social media for a while. This one is actually self-published, so my link is to Casey's website. This one is... and I don't actually usually take very many books anymore that don't come through channels that have already been established. Since Dan passed away, I just don't have the time anymore to get through the amount of books I was receiving, so I tend to only take books where I've got a pre-established relationship. But I have followed Casey Rainbow online for a long time now, and I really love her designs, and I love these caricatures that she does. So when she contacted me about her book, I was like, yes, please, I'd like to have a look at it. It's really good. It's an alphabet journey created to, I guess, inspire imagination about what you might want to be when you grow up. Again, for a very much an early childhood audience. Graphically, it's really fantastic. It's got a rhyming text, and it's just a really nice one. And I also like that some of the royalties from this one go to support organisations that look into and care for people with mental health issues. So I think that's always something worth noting. When I grow up, I could be an astronaut in space. While up there, you can show the world you're not just a pretty face. Ta-da. So if you follow her online, you will notice her style. This is one of my favourite pages about the electrician. When I grow up, I could be an electrician. My spark will shine so bright. And when you're scared or in the dark, you know you'll always have some light. Now, I think it's got some really nice discussion starters about thinking about feelings, maybe mental health issues. You don't have to go there if you don't want to, but I think that it's got some really, really nice discussion points. I love the representations of diverse people in this book and of diversity in male and female traditional occupations. And I really love the illustrations. I absolutely love following Casey on social media. She's done lots of collaborations with groups like Jericho Robe, which is a Brisbane fashion designer, and I really love her work. I love it when designers go into illustration. I think they've got a really good eye for what makes a great picture book, and I do think Casey's done a really good job with this book. So, super duper like that one, and if it's the sort of thing that you would like in your kindergarten or childcare centre, you can contact her through her website and follow her on social media. Now, this next one I have read about 25 times over the last 2 weeks. I've been using this with students at school for 2 weeks now. I've been reading it to kindergarten children, and I've also read it right up to the grade 6 students. This is, again, like I said about Birthday Baby, this to me is an absolute must-have in a primary school setting. It's by Peter H. Reynolds, who's very famous for The Dot, his book The Dot. This is called Say Something, The World Needs Your Voice. Now, the end papers start with lots of speech bubbles, with lots of voices. Onward, take a stand, your voice matters, think green, you've got a friend. The final end paper is really interesting. They're blank speech bubbles, and if this was a book that you owned, I think you could write in there, or have your children write in there, some things that mean a lot to you and that you would like the world to hear. In a school setting, I have photocopied this last end paper, and we have done some speech bubbles of our own. The message in this book is so powerful, and I can just see so many applications for it. Say something. The world needs your voice. Mine? Yes, yours. Go ahead. It doesn't need to be perfect as long as it's from your heart. You don't have to be loud. Powerful words can be a whisper. I never whisper. You can say something in so many ways, with words, with action, with creativity. If you see someone lonely, say something by just being there for them. If you see an empty canvas, say something with your brush, and so it goes on. It is such a fabulous, fabulous book about activism, about using your voice or your talents to say something really important and add value to the world. I just love it. Design-wise, I think it's fabulous. Peter H. Reynolds is, I guess, fairly well known for his typography and his really great design in his books. This is my absolute favourite without a doubt. My new total favourite by Peter H. Reynolds. Say something, the world needs your voice. Absolutely cannot recommend that one highly enough for all primary school teachers, primary school teacher librarians, and a great one to have at home. Yeah, I just think it's absolutely brilliant. All right, and then my final one that I want to show you today, oh gosh, it's by Junie Baker, and it's called Playing with Collage. This one's out tomorrow, but you can pre-order it on Booktopia tonight, and I'd highly recommend that you do, because I reckon it's going to sell out instantly. Gosh, I remember reading Where the Forest Meets the Sea when I was maybe 10 or 11, and I adored it. It absolutely blew my mind. I spent so much time after I first read Where the Forest Meets the Sea practicing collage. I spent so much time poring over that book and all of her subsequent books, just looking at the detail in her collage and wondering how she achieved it. As a early childhood student at QUT, I referenced her books quite a lot when I was doing literacy, I did a couple of literacy subjects actually. Beautiful lecturer called Beverly Broughton, who looked a bit like a fairy. And I don't know, from the very moment I first saw a Jeannie Baker book, I just thought, wow, that is truly fabulous. I have been really lucky to go to pretty much every exhibition she's ever had of her original artwork in Brisbane. She's had some at the Mount Coot Botanical Gardens Art Gallery. Story Arts Festival Ipswich had her work exhibited a few years ago. And for many years I had this beautiful photo of Jeannie Baker, my mum and I, sitting on my bookcase framed, because I just was so excited to first meet her. When I met her, I was, you know, when you meet someone you've loved for a long time and you really hope they won't be a disappointment. Well, Jeannie Baker was everything I had hoped for. She, despite being born in England, I kind of think Jeannie Baker is half Australian native bush fairy and half human. She's just ethereal in the way she moves, in the way she speaks. She's like this, I just feel like a great clumping elephant of a human when I'm in her presence. She moves gracefully and beautifully. She moves her hands gracefully. She speaks beautifully, and in this little sort of twinkling fairy voice. Oh, there's just nothing not to love about Jeannie Baker. Anyway, so, you know, any of you who have grown up in Australia or have children yourselves now will know who Jeannie Baker is. She's got books such as Window, and Where the Forest Meets the Sea, and just, oh my gosh, so many. She's won that many awards, and she's been a collage artist for over 40 years now. Won international awards and Australian awards. Well, I feel like her latest book, Playing with Collage, is like this little gift directly from Jeannie Baker herself to all of the children in Australia and the adults like me who have loved her books for a really long time. This one is non-fiction, which I don't think she's done before. And it's basically takes you through her illustration style, which is collage, obviously, using found materials, normally from nature. And it's a how-to guide, I guess, into how to collage like Jeannie Baker. But what I love about it is the sense of playfulness in the book. So she does give some examples of her own collages. I mean, seriously, look at that one on her page about paper. It gives some examples of her collage, but then it leaves a lot to the imagination of the children. There might be like a little starting point stimulus, but really what she wants very much is for children to become observers of nature, I suppose, and of collage materials that they might find around them and their houses or at the beach or in their gardens, and go from there. It's a very playful book. There's a lot more white space in this book than in her picture book. So by white space, I mean this white space on the pages. It's a very clean looking book because it's non-fiction. There's my dog walking around, sorry. Because it's non-fiction, it's a how-to guide, I suppose. She's got used captions really well and headings. There's lots of instructions, and it's I guess a cleaner look than her other books because it is a non-fiction book, and she wants you to be able to use it in your classrooms or your homes as a teaching tool for how to collage like Jeannie Baker. My favourite page, personally, is the one in the kitchen where she uses spices. Hello, look at all of those spices. Oh my gosh. Seriously, that is like my Middle Eastern dream, that picture there. It's amazing. I just love it. I feel like, yeah, as I said, I feel like Jeannie Baker has gifted this book to all of her readers who have loved her for such a long time. It's another absolute must-have as far as I'm concerned in a primary school classroom and in every early childhood setting. stunning, and it's out tomorrow, and you can pre-order it from today. And that's about all I have for this week. I am speaking tomorrow at the Education Summit at the Brisbane Convention and Exhibition Centre in South Brisbane. There's lots of free parts to that Education Summit. If any of you are teachers out there and were wanting to come along, my teaching partner Jackie Child is also speaking. She is speaking in the morning, I'm speaking in the afternoon, and I'm talking tomorrow about the book clubs that I run in school, and the book clubs that I've run over the years, and sharing a little bit of how I extend my library into our school community and into the wider community with community events that I do. The lights got really dark here in the time that I've been talking to you. I don't know why, so I will go and eat for those of you who joined me halfway through, I discovered there is a chocolate factory down the road from me. I can walk there. I didn't walk there, but I have eaten pretty much this entire bar of coconut chocolate, which is traditional stone ground milk chocolate made with coconut. And apparently the lady told me it's really good for me. So what was I to do but to eat it for lunch? Here's to living a guilt-free chocolate-infused life. I will leave you on that note. Sustainable chocolate production that is environmentally friendly, ethically made, and is good for me. I am off to eat the other bar of chocolate, which is a matcha green tea chocolate. Have a nice weekend.